Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to my Madden 22 review here on AJTRIP's Video Game Talk. Oh boy. Um. Well, let's just talk about it. This game is really the same game as it's been past several years, except this first iteration. This almost reminds me of WWE 2K20. There are so many bugs in this game to begin with that you wonder like what were EA thinking? Did they not test this out? I mean, it's obviously that they just are not really focused in on. They're doing changes that really we don't want, to try to make it seem like that it's some type of new game, but it just isn't. I mean, like, if you take a look at like franchise mode, right? And you can do other things, and they still are not giving us like a lot of the things that we want from franchise mode. Like, they added all these other things that I don't really need. I mean, they added the offensive and defensive coordinators, which I like. It's not a real it's not the real offensive defensive coordinators, but that's fine. At least they're giving us some coordinators, right? I'll take that. But how about, like, several years ago they gave us real owners? How come we don't have real owners anymore? I mean, they really are just like, it is so strange what in the world they are doing. It really is. Like, you have to input the name of the owner, instead of having the real owners. You take that out for some reason. I have no idea why. I don't know, and it doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. Then there's all these other things that goes on with it, and it just isn't cool. Just isn't. And I mean, there are a lot of things wrong with this game. There just is, it's everything. And you're going to see in this video some of the things that I am talking about. Um, for instance, you know, I think everybody who has played a franchise mode, the offline franchise mode, right, has come across this bug where you win the game, but then it goes back to the screen and there are no, there are, you lost it and your points are gone, and sometimes even your stats are gone, and it's just like, really, this is what you're doing, like. And also in franchise mode, like, they are still not giving us options when it comes to like stadiums and things like this. Like, if you want to build another stadium, they're still not giving us the options of jumbotrons, and whether or not we want grass or field turf. You know, and it's just, and it may be giving us the option of a retractable roof, and whether or not we want it to be, closed or open, or open during certain times, certain degrees. Like, if it's 70 degrees, sure, keep it open. Or if it's 30 degrees, close it, or something like that. They're not doing anything like that. I didn't even check the um the other thing. I didn't even check to see whether or not, like, if you could, like, relocate, if there were new cities or new teams and new logos and anything like that, because I pretty much know that there isn't. I pretty much know that it isn't. Madden is the only game that can be good and bad at the same time. Like, the gameplay is always going to be good. It's always going to be fun to play, right? But then there's the things around it that are just always going to fret your shit. And I just don't get this. I still don't know how they haven't found a better way to come up with the playbooks. How have you not found a better way to do your custom playbooks, so that you can create a playbook? Why do we need to start from a a already built playbook from the original teams that has 300, 400 plays already in it. Why can't we start from scratch and build our playbook up? Why can't we do that? And how come we can't take that built playbook and put it into the franchise mode and have it and select it as the playbook that you want in your team schemes, right? You can't do that. And they gave us all of this other stuff, with staff management and other things like that. And who gives a crap about that? Again, good thing. Giving us the offensive and defensive coordinators was good. Could have added a special teams coordinator as well. But the other stuff is just ridiculous. We don't need that. We don't want that. And then doing, oh Jesus Christ. There's just so much stuff that they are missing out on. Again, when you are one of the bugs, and this bug has been in the game for the past two years almost. For some reason, when you give you create a player like I do, and you give them like the elbow pad with the team stripe down the middle. If you give them that, you know when they wear the white jersey, the stripe becomes white instead of staying as the primary team color. Why is that? Why is that? Why are you doing that? Why is making that happen? Stop that. Get that. Fix that. And this year it's become even worse because now, like even the gloves and the armbands and the other elbow pads will change color. You can give somebody, I had somebody with the Kansas City Chiefs I created. Gave them red elbow pads. When they go on the road, elbow pads are white. Why? Why is this? Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? For years, you've been the greatest football game to ever live, and then you make a deal with NFL where you're the only game in town. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that because because I've always been a Madden guy, always going to be a Madden guy. I know some people have loved that NFL 2K5 game or something like that. They thought that was one of the best games of all time. I never played it. It didn't matter because I was a Madden guy. And you're still just, it's almost like I guess I'm going to say it. It's like you really don't care. You just really don't care. All you care about is getting the money from the mutts. Now, and I will admit, I do some mutt too, but I don't put money into mutt because that's not why I play the game. I play the game to play franchise mode, to do fantasy drafts with different teams, or take my team, the Chicago Bears, that I don't do a fantasy draft. Take my team and I play seasons. Now that's what I want to do. I want to play a season, a franchise, then go to the draft and draft people and do free agency and all of this other stuff. Right? This is what I want to do. I want to scout college players. I want to do everything that I can to have like a real franchise season, and it just doesn't. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't. And I don't know why you're not doing this. And going back 1 minute to the creative players, right? Why haven't you still made it a thing where you can save your created players so that you don't have to create them again? NBA 2K does this. Major League Baseball, the show, does this. Why haven't you done this? Because when you update the rosters from preseason to regular season, we had to create our players all over again. When we could just be able to import them, whether it be from the PlayStation 4 where we saved them on, like MLB The Show, or like NBA 2K. There's a place where the created players are sitting, and then you can just take them from that and import them into the free agents pool or onto a roster. Let's get this shit right, y'all. Come on. And where are the referees? There are no fucking referees on this game. None. There are no referees on this game. And by goddamn, fix the fucking snow. Fix the fucking snow. We pick snow and you give us a field full of snow and the snow comes down, but it doesn't accumulate. In fact, it starts going away as the game continues to play. Give us some snow. And then you have rain and light rain. Give us heavy rain. So that it becomes a mud bowl in some places. It has natural grass. Let's do this. Madden adds little things here and there to try to satiate you and try to, pressure you and do all of this, like to say that, hey, this is what we have. We're doing good here. We're listening to you. You're not. You're not listening to us. You really aren't. Why the fuck, when you play on broadcast mode, do you still punt and kick off from behind, the kicker and punter? If it's in broadcast mode, you should punt and kick from broadcast mode. What the hell are you doing? Really? God damn. I tell you guys, it's and I'm one of the stupid ones. I'm one of the stupid ones because I buy it every year. I'm guaranteed to buy Madden 2023 next year. And by the way, if I didn't mention it before, and I probably didn't because I jumped right into the review. This is all for PlayStation 4 stuff. This is all for PlayStation 4 stuff, and I will give EA and Madden credit this. I think it's good that they are still creating games for the PS4, knowing that it's been very hard to get a PS5. So I still do that. It should, and they should do it next year too. When 2022 comes around, they should do it next year, and then see where we at in 2023. And then if there's still some stuff, continue to make these games for the PlayStation 4 until more than likely everybody can get their PlayStation 5. So all this review is stuff from PS4. If there are things on the PS5 version that you don't, that you know that you are not, seeing do here, or if you're not, you know, seeing on the PS5, or you don't, you know, find a way on the PS5, and that's totally fine. You can obviously you know you can disregard my what I'm talking about, but for the most part, I no for not for the most part, for all parts, I'm talking about the PlayStation 4 version of Madden 2022. Now they did add some new additions. We talked about the stuff from the franchise mode that I don't really care about, weekly strategies and anything like that, and the staffing points, and I don't like. I'm never going to use that. Why did you add it on there? And the menu, you changed the menu around, which is god awful as well. I don't know why you changed the menu around. That was one of the best things about it, was the fact that it was, you change things you don't need to change, and then you don't change the things that you do need to change. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. One of the things they did add that I liked, you'll see later on at the end of this video, is the fact that they have when you pause the game and something like that, they have highlights now where you can go back and check out the highlights. And you can even, and then they even have some where are video highlights, I believe. So and there's a little play button. So I like that. I like the fact that you can go back and you can see it says, in the third quarter, 25-yard pass from Lance to Debo Samuel, something like that. If you're just for the 49ers or something like that. That's good. I like that. That's a good addition. That's a small good addition. Something that is, you know, that you would like. But why in the world is nothing else being, tuned? Why every year are there bugs? I'm seeing on Twitter and on Reddit bugs. I'm seeing people flying in the middle of the air. I'm seeing invisible teams. You know, I played on the skills trainer. On one of the things on one of the defensive training things, um, it just after you get to seven, there's just 10 things that you have to do, 10 tries that you get, and after the seventh try, it goes crazy, and it doesn't work anymore, and you can't, and the people become invisible, and you have to restart it. You can't even finish the damn skills trainer. Come on. You gotta be better than this. You gotta be better than this. Last year there was a whole hashtag of fixed Madden franchise. And all you did was just add some shit nobody wanted. And by adding that, you probably fucked up the game even more. Now they know that. There's some stuff on the EA site, on the EA answer site, where we know about the bugs and things like that, and we're trying to get them fixed. But that shouldn't be. It's you shouldn't lose a game that you won. And I've been saying for years about stats not, showing up sometimes. I don't know how many times I've played a franchise, mode, and I've got a guy who has like 12, 13 sacks, you know, and he would be top 3 or 4 on the list of sack leaders, and I go to the stats section and he's not on there. He's not even on there. But for the NFL. But if I go to the team that I'm playing with, oh yeah, it shows him then. But then he doesn't appear in the NFL stats. What the fuck is going on? Really? It's like that again this year too. If you even get the stats, play the game, won the game. He told me I lost the game, and literally, it was the third game of the season. I let it go. I won the game. I should be 3-0. I'm for the first 3 games. I'm actually 1-2, right? Then I go to the stats. All the people that I played with. It says only played 2 games. Really? I played 3 fucking games, and I'm 1-3. But I'm 1-2 some fucking how, and I have 2 games and I have 2 games where people play, and I played fucking 3, and I know I played them the fucking game. Not to mention that there are times that players go missing, during these games without there's no injury. They're not injured. I checked the thing, and they're not injured or anything like that. Right? They're not injured. But then why are they just missing? They just and they're not tired. And they get subbed out when they're tired. But then they also come back in when they get when they catch their breath. They get taken out. They don't come the fuck back in. Running backs and receivers and linebackers, from what I've seen, What's going on? And another thing, and I going back to the creative players, because this one freshes my shits all the time. And I guess you can say this about the normal players too, right? Being able to select what they are and not have it be determined by um by the rating. And what I mean by that is that it's it's those archetypes. Like if you're a running back, you can be an elusive back, you can be a power back, or you can be a receiving back, right? But and it goes for like this for like all the like the receivers. You can be physical, you can be a slot receiver, a deep threat, route runner, or whatever, right? But instead of you being, instead of you being chosen, you know, instead of you being instead of you choosing what archetype you want to be, or you want somebody to be, like for instance, just for the sake of things, it doesn't have to be a creative player, right? If you wanted to, if you were looking at and you were seeing, huh, well, actually, they have Adam Thielen as a slot guy, but he never. I don't see him play the slot lot in Minnesota. Maybe he's better off being like a route runner, right? You can run routes, right? Or whatever, right? So let's change him and make him into a route runner. You should be able to do that, but it shouldn't affect. But to do it now, you have to do it with the stats. You have to move the stats around. Your archetypes should not be based on the stats. If anything, your stats should be based on your archetype. You can select your archetype, and then it will give you like a base of ratings, and then you can edit the ratings whenever you want to. At least when it comes to creative players, the normal football players, you can if you change it, their stats don't change or whatever or anything like that. The stats that are given to them from the beginning, they don't change if you change the archetype, right? And it would be like that for the creative player too once you saved it. But when you are creating your player, it you know you can select your archetype and then the base of ratings happen. But they continue to do this. I mean, it's absolutely incredible because there is, and I say this because when I create wide receivers, they always end up they always end up being physical, and I'm trying to figure out why. Why are they all this physical? I I would have to like change things around to try to get them to be something else, a deep threat. And why is like the cornerback? When I create, I cannot create a cornerback that isn't a slot cornerback. I just can't. I cannot create a cornerback that isn't a slot cornerback. I can try to move the man to man all the way up, or move the zone coverage all the way up, instead of being a slot cornerback. Change this, y'all. God, it is absolutely frustrating. It just is. It is absolutely frustrating. If you can select a created player's development, superstar X factor, and you can select their X factor and the things that go with the X factor, you should be able to select their archetype. You just should be able to. Which by the way, that you can only. Oh, which, by the way, I should change that. I should say that you can only select like their development in franchise mode. You can't do it as like for like the regular rosters. which that has to change too. You need to be able to change it on a regular roster so that you don't have to do it, in the franchise mode. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. There is really so much wrong with the game, and so much. It's frustrating. It really is. Absolutely frustrating. So, I'm sure I'm forgetting many other things that are wrong with this game or what are right with this game, but I am right now. I am frustrated because I'm getting worked up and my blood pressure is probably high. So, I need to go ahead and probably end this review right now. Um, you will continue to see more of my clips of me playing it for the past week. More stuff that I've done here. You will see some of the stuff that I've talked about previously. You will see some other stuff as well, just some other gameplay and other modes and anything like that. So, yeah. But as for a review, for me, I can't. Again, like I said, it's gameplay for the most part is still fun. It's still a fun game, but I can only go so far. You want some other things to add on to it. Why the fuck ain't there no officials? Oh God. I haven't I haven't even challenged to play. Well, no, you know what? You know what? I just not thought about this. Right? Penalties happen, and penalties. The official comes up and says offside, defense, or illegal use of hands to the face, offense. He appeals on there, but then he just disappears. Yeah, so my rating, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. That's out of 5. I kind of think that's generous. That's very generous because this the stuff that has happened should never be happening. It really should. Like I can understand maybe if something is not tuned correctly, if maybe the AI is a little bit off, and then you tune the AI, or maybe something happens where 'cause a couple years ago, NBA 2K, there was a whole bunch of ankle injuries for some reason. And so then they went back and they tuned it, but it was still a pretty good game, right? Still a very good game, and that's how it could be. I can understand. I can understand if maybe there's a whole bunch of, no, if and you can tune down the injuries, but if there was like a whole bunch of one injury, like I remember one year it was always that fucking like several years ago on Madden, it was like always the broken collarbone, something like that. Everybody got a fucking broken collarbone. Uh, so um. That was strange, but yeah, I mean, it is. Let's just go, y'all. Let's go. All right, y'all. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know how you guys are feeling about Madden 2020, Madden 22. What are your thoughts? Do you agree there's a 2-star game? And what can we do to make EA hear us out? To give us the things that we want, give us the things that we need, to I don't know, make the game back to what it was, and that was the best simulation football game there ever was. All right, y'all. Like I mentioned, uh, continue. Gonna see some more video of my gameplay and everything like that. But Until next time, y'all, it's your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.